Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me here. I appreciate, and I'm here to show you a little bit about how to revolutionize power plants efficiency by integrating new technologies. And we had a lot of events in the industry, and I little bit changed topic or the content of my presentation because of those events. And I would like to ask you, did anybody here has been affected by CrowdStrike? Yes, I see some hands rising. And again, I changed a little bit of presentation, and I will be going through the norms which are ahead and the ways how we can adapt to the new normal. As you can see, cybersecurity experts say it's new normal. We have all systems connected in these days. We have every system is connected to the IT. We have a lot of troubles there. And we will have new normal here, and we need to go ahead. But our friends from the EU, they have discovered with the NIS2. NIS2 is coming in power on October 24. And it's introducing a lot of, I would say, rather interesting stuff, and we can start with administrative penalties. The penalties for essential entities, which are power plants, they are right on the first line of the Annex 1 as a critical equipment, and they go as high as 10 million euro or 2% of global revenues. For the not that essential important entities, we go up to 7 million or 1.4% of the global revenue. But there is something much more stricter. In past, there was the IT department who was responsible for the cybersecurity. And the attempt to make sure that that poor guy in the IT room saying, I have no budget, European Union defined it well, there are sanctions for the management. The management is ultimately and personally liable for the cybersecurity. Means they can't say anymore there is no budget for network monitoring. There is no budget for this or that. If something goes wrong, managers will be personally liable for gross negligence. Okay, now what? We should follow the rules. I see from Uniper, you are worried already. I believe you do a good job there. And well, the question is, how do we really avoid next IT meltdown? It's only a question of the time when it happened and how you avoid huge penalties, huge fines. We are dealing with the existing power stations, means sometimes you have systems from 1990s. There is Telnet, there is FTP, passwords on the network. Well, is it possible to do something with it? Yes. We need to learn. We need the knowledge. As my colleague before, she said, well, we need people who understand what they have. We have a proper documentation to have in place. Well, as I said, our current status is non-compliant, pretty dangerous systems, and we would like to move to the improved states, which is NIS2 compliant or 27K compliant in the case of cybersecurity, and of course you want secure and safe power station. You don't want any trouble that somebody trip it. The first thing you have to do is you have to look for the processes and procedures. So procedures like how do I do backup of the computers? How do I monitor network? How do I restore? Oh, then I'm too fast. Then you have a lot of data in your systems. You need the data for the daily shift reporting, for the government emissions. You need data for billing systems. You need to take a lot of data out of your systems. And then, of course, you have to be aware of all installed assets. Now I will try to explain each of them. What is the problem with the procedures? They are usually outdated. The people doesn't know how do I restore the computer. Or you have a spare part. The BIOS battery after 2 years is dead in the warehouse. And then you do not know how to set up the BIOS. And why is it a problem? You can't restore your plant, even from minor incidents like a broken computer, in reasonable amount of the time. Not talking that you will be hacked or hard disk encrypted. You must be able to restore quickly. Well, again, documentation, which means procedures, which means good training, and to be very well prepared and rehearse all this. Okay, safe data transfer. As I said, you might need to transfer the data for the government emission monitoring. You need to make a billing system. You need to, or you want to optimize your systems with the modern equipment. You can use AI, or there's a lot of projects on the predictive maintenance, for example. The problem is, once you open any connection to your system, it's a hole, which can bring hackers, or in the simple systems like Telepen from Siemens, if you have everything with FTP, well, passwords are on the network. And then, what is a solution? Unidirectional communication with clear boundary definitions. There are technologies like data diodes, but they need a lot of computers before and after. There is a couple of companies on the market, but you have to go for proper solution. Then, installed assets. That's a very interesting topic. People think, well, I have a computer and that's my installed asset. No. On that computer is running some Windows services. That's your asset. It is providing services. It can be vulnerable, even that little software. Therefore, you have to be able to evaluate every component of your system. You might have a network cards, which needs to document MAC addresses. You have a computers in the warehouse. You need to have BIOS settings because it disappears after 2 years. And what is a solution? Again, procedures and documentation. You need kind of the system where you can evaluate and well document vulnerabilities. You need a system where you can document all the manuals. You need a system where you can quickly find procedures. A system, you say, I find 1,500 vulnerabilities. What is my current status? Did I fix 1,200 of them? Did I ignore them? Or what I did about it? And then, well, how we can make sure NIS2 compliance of your company? If we are here in 1 year time, what you need to do to be very, very happy, say me, Peter, I am NIS2 compliant, my system is safe and secured. Well, you need a complete solution. You need to address every procedure, every equipment. And with us, we did a couple of power stations where we went through each and every equipment. And any problem I mentioned here, we can support you with. But there we have one more, secure data flow. There is, as I mentioned, a lot of data diodes on the market, like from Waterfall, like from the Advenica from Sweden, for example, and Hirschman is having a couple of them. And the question is nice, data diodes, but then how you got the data from old OPCDA? How do you transfer log files in automatic way? You always need software before and after data diodes. On the other end, you can present it. And again, we have a solution for it. And if you would like to get more, you have my contact, and I can support you with your ICS cyber and security.